Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. We are bringing you a very exciting game here at Five Nations Playoffs in Stoke-on-Trent, the spiritual home of UK Roller Derby. We've got Rebellion up against Wiltshire on this track for our first game today. So this is our first Tier 2 WFTDA aligned semi-final. So the winner of this game today will go on to play either Cambridge or Bristol in the gold medal game tomorrow afternoon on this track.
Sounds about right.
I had a panic then. So we've got Wiltshire Roller Derby, who came second in Tier 2 South. They are currently ranked number 44 in Europe. But despite that, Rebellion are ranked 42nd. But Wiltshire, according to Flat Track Stats, are the favourites to win this game, although only very slightly. So my Flat Track Stats predictions say that Wiltshire have about a 58% chance of winning this game. So it's going to be spicy.
It should be a really close game, which I'm looking forward to see how it's going to work and how they're going to combat each other's offences. And I'm just really excited.
Me too. We're just very, very excited. I think they're two teams with very different styles of play.
Absolutely. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they combat the different things, how well they can and can't adjust to it.
Yeah. So Wiltshire have come up through being, they won the Tier 3 WFTDA playoffs in 2023. So they've had just last year and this year in Tier 2. Rebellion have had a little dabble in Tier 1 and then been in Tier 2 for the last couple of years. So you would have expected Rebellion on paper to be the favourites to win this. Rebellion with a very kind of take no prisoners style of play. They will go flat out from the first whistle, I think, to try and put their stamp on this game. Wiltshire maybe with a slightly more tactical, maybe more adaptable style of gameplay.
Potentially. And if you look at the scores that both teams have gotten over the recent games of the year, it's not a massive point differential for either of them. So although they're winning games, it's not by a crazy margin.
No, Rebellion's biggest differential was their first game of this year against Hallam. They won 233 points to 67. They've had some decent differentials. Closest game was against Sheffield Steel, only winning that game by 26 points.
Exactly, whereas Wiltshire's biggest difference was when they beat Brighton Rockers, which was 209 to 141.
So lower scoring games, closer games for Wiltshire. But we shall see. So our teams are taking the track. We'll give you your rosters really quickly. So playing in red for Rebellion, we've got 1-0 Steph Sentence, 1-0-5 Binks, 1-3 Boris, 2 is Doyle, 2-0 Wreck and Ralph, 2-1 is Hells, 2-2 Not the Brave, 2-7-1 Pandemonium, 3-8 Titch, 4-2 Caliber, 5 is Airy Fairy, 5-2 is Eraser, 8 is Dewdropper, 8-8-8 is Kiki, and 9-1 is Pip.
And then for Wiltshire in black, we've got 0-0 La Renegade, 1-1-1-1 Badger, 1-3 Ginge, 1-5-5-0 Reckless, who will be our captain today, 1-7 Swift, 1-9 B, 1-9-5 The Hag, 2-4-9 Serenity, 3-1 Thistle, 5-3 Escapade, 5-8 Diamond Dodge, 7-0-2 Lindsane is 7-8. 786 question mark and 808 Bookworm's Revenge.
So it looks like we've got we had our teams taking the track. Wiltshire are all the teams are heading back to their bench. I wonder if we just got a little delay getting some official things sorted out. Obviously this is our first game of the day on this track, although it is technically game 2. If you hear any noise and any whistle bleed from track 1, we've got 2 tracks set up in this hall. From that camera position that you're seeing right now, you can probably just about see us up on the balcony. We've got our lovely producer, Alexis on fire. You can see Sonic's arm waving. We didn't introduce ourselves.
I'm Sonic.
I'm Painbow, and our producer for this morning is Alexis on fire,
who is a mastermind with percentages and stats. So
going to make us sound super, super clever. Not that we aren't, anyway.
I'm going to test it.
But probably 50% of that is actually Alex giving us stats. So just getting things sorted out now.
Okay, we have some Wiltshire skaters going on track. Are they just warming up?
They're just keeping themselves warm. So up next on this track is our other Tier 2 game. That's going to be Cambridge versus Bristol. I'm doing house to that game, so I'm also quite excited for that game. I think our Tier 2 games are going to be good. Over on track 1 at the moment, we've got our first WFTDA Tier 3 game happening. So that track all day today is going to be our Tier 3 games for our WFTDA aligned teams. After our 2 Tier 2 games today, we have got our 2 MRDA games. So we've got Haunted City facing Kings of Block and Roll, playing to see which team will be in Tier 3 next year and which team will be in Tier 2. And then after that, we've got Crash Test Brummies versus Kent Men's, playing to see who's going to be in Tier 1.
Look at your memory. You're not even reading anything. You're just spouting it off. You spent so much time making this information.
We've got all of the information on pieces of paper in a folder, but I don't need to look at it because I put it together. I spent all of last Sunday looking at these stats and these games. I don't know all the predictions off the top of my head.
So, not unusual. We've probably just got a little technical difficulties. We often do at this venue, but nothing to worry about. Skaters are keeping themselves warm. We're going to have a really fun weekend. It is September 2025. Tomorrow morning, we've got 2 junior games on this track, which, if you haven't watched a junior game, you really should, because I watched them last year and just the level and
so
ability that they have is phenomenal.
Yeah, they're really good. We've got quite a lot of players in those games who played at the JRDA World Cup this year. Obviously, we've got a smattering through our adult teams of people who played at World Cups this year as well.
Exactly. It's been such a good year for roller derby. It's interesting to have gone from the World Cup and some of these skaters playing in it, like Pip skated in the World Cup, and Titch, to then come back down to this level and seeing how they mesh with all these different people. Yeah. I really enjoy watching skaters skate with different people.
Yeah. So, of course, Rebellion were in the Tier 2 gold medal game last year as well, but they were missing Pip, who is, a roller derby team is much bigger than one player.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you've got an England roller derby level jammer on your team who unfortunately was on holiday when playoffs happened, that isn't going to help. So, yeah, they dominated through the whole weekend, but unfortunately lost to Newcastle in the final. So Newcastle have gone up into Tier 1. So Rebellion taking their chance again this year, and this year they do have Pip. So we asked our teams as well some questions before the game. So we asked what's been your biggest focus in training for playoffs, and Rebellion said that they've been developing skaters who aren't used to being in Tier 2, haven't previously been on their charter. So they've been solidifying that and working on meshing together as a team. They came first in Tier 2 South this year, and then 2023 they were in Tier 1. They came 5th.
So just a little update. The rosters are being updated, which is the reason for our delay at the moment. So it is going to be a little bit of a pause until we're able to get to our skating. Hopefully we're going to try and transition to ads soon. Please come back and join us.
Hello everybody, looks like we are coming back. We've got skaters on the track again. Apologies for the delay. This is a WFTDA sanctioned game and we had some discrepancies with the charters and the rosters that the officials had, which might also mean that the charters that we read out or the rosters that we read out at the beginning of this game were wrong.
Quite likely. So we're going to try and just call the names that we can see on the track, and when we've got a confirmed roster, which I believe is about to be handed to us, we will give it back to you guys.
Oh, thanks, Smash. Okay, so playing in red for Rebellion, this time we have 1-0 Steph Sentence, 1-3 Boris, 2 is Doyle, 2-0 is Wreck and Ralph, 2-2 is Not the Brave, 2-7-1 is Pandemonium, 3-8 is Titch, 4-2 is Caliber, 5 is Airy Fairy, 5-2 is Eraser, 8-8 is Kiki, 6-2-6 Tiny Terrier, 6-5 is Thundercaz, 7 Serious Block, and 7-4 is Mythical, and their captain is Kiki.
It doesn't look as though Wiltshire's got much of a change, but I am going to reread it just in case. So for the Blacks, 0-0 Law Renegade, 1-1-1-1 Badger, 1-3 Ginge, 1-5-5-0 Reckless, 1-7 Swift, 1-9 B, 1-9-5 The Hag, 2-4-9 Serenity, 3-1 Thistle, 5-3 Escapade, 5-8 Diamond Dodge, 7-0-2 is 7-0-2, 7-8 Linsane, 7-8-6 question mark, 8-0-8 Bookworm's Revenge, and Reckless is captain. for these guys.
So we've had a rolling whistle. Looks like we can start the game, and my eyes are telling me that your jammer for Rebellion in Jam 1 is Pip, and for Wiltshire is Diamond Dodge. And I have to say, if I was picking the first 2 jammers for either of those teams,
it's a good idea.
That's probably who I'd go with. Both very, very good jammers. So we've got a tight, spaced out pack on the jam line for both of these teams. Looks like Doyle's setting up to do some offense in the outside. That didn't quite come off. Pip muscling their way through the pack. With Hadley Jammer, though, going to Diamond Dodge. Pip is maybe 10 foot behind. Both these jammers are very, very fast. Pack speeding up now. That looks like Wreck and Ralph trying to catch someone at the back. Both jammers now picking up points on the way through. What are we going to see? So Pip has come out first now.
We've also had both of our jammers have tumbled 3 times.
Everybody on the floor.
Very quick recovery.
Yeah.
You know, Pip down, slid up.
Yeah.
Dodge a little bit longer, but I believe she did get knocked down 3 separate times. So this is going to be an entertaining game.
So 3 falls apiece, 4 points apiece. So we're keeping things nice and fair as we go into Jam 2. I hope it doesn't, well, I hope it stays this close for all of your benefit, but this is a lot very early in the morning if it stays like this early doors. So Airy Fairy on the jam line for Rebellion, and that is 0-0 to the Renegade for Wiltshire. So tough pack at the back. The Renegade getting some help. Airy Fairy trying to squeeze through. Very, very strong Airy Fairy as a jammer and very nippy on those lines, getting offense on the outside line there from, that was Boris and Sirius Block.
Very nice control from the black blockers to hold that jammer for 20 seconds before they actually got out though, so it was very nicely done.
Yeah, lovely offense there from Wiltshire trying to clear space on the inside. But again, both these jammers choosing to run the jams long. Early doors not trying to maximise their own points. And it looks like...
we've had a multiplayer penalty and we've had a forearms penalty. So Wiltshire will be 2 blockers light at the moment.
And Sirius Block has a penalty, which at the moment is showing on our overlay as a question mark. The elusive unknown penalty. So that probably a good reason for both these teams now to run this jam long.
Yeah.
Interesting, we've had a repeat of, but the opposite way around of what we had in the first half, which is that the lead jammer was then not the first one to complete the scoring pass.
Yeah.
So again, both teams putting up 4 points in that jam. We will start this jam with a light pack. We've got 3 blockers in the box altogether. They are all standing up. We've changed the configuration of the hall slightly for this year, which means I can see the penalty box.
It looks like Pandemonium has lined up for Reds. I can't quite make out who the other one is.
That is Swift for Wiltshire. Now the camera angle's changed and we can see. So small pack there, Pandemonium with 2 blockers. Those 2 blockers doing a great job though.
Absolutely, I'm really enjoying the movement they're having across the right. Like Pandemonium is not staying still, consistently moving across and across and across.
Blockers are doing a really good job of tracking, but without being twitchy. So
absolutely.
Swift now is our lead jammer and coming in on the scoring pass. Pandemonium still looking to complete the initials. Somebody's picked up a direction penalty. That looks like Wreck and Ralph from Rebellion.
So now would be a great time for a star pass.
That would be a great time to at least take the cover off and be ready for the star pass.
Yeah.
Steph Sentence, the pivot, was right up at the front there, blocking the jammer. Comes in with the offense, but the shoulders of, that was 249, that was Serenity. So like, absolutely not.
And do you know what? They had a really nice spreading out, so they fully covered so much of that track before the jammer got out to come back around.
So 3 wall here being absolutely swarmed by Wiltshire blockers, but Sirius Block saw what was coming, tried to stop the jammer and slowed Swift down, but didn't quite manage to prevent the points being picked up. We have now had that star pass you were talking about, so we've got Steph Sentence wearing the star now for Rebellion, coming in to try and pick up some points, escorted to the outside line by the pivot for Wiltshire, that's 7-8 Lindsayne. So Swift now stuck on the back of a very solid wall. Rebellion have opted to put all 4 of their blockers on defence at the moment, nobody being allocated for offence. I suspect that Steph Sentence isn't happy about that.
No, but look at that massive gap on the inside line. I can't believe they didn't try and take it and just run up on the inside. There was so much space.
Yeah. It's really easy sitting here to say what I would do in this situation.
It is. There we go. Now we've taken the inside line. We're good. We're through. So that makes it, what is that now, 16 points on this jam for Wiltshire?
Yeah, good mathsing. 16 points up and 6 on the jam for Rebellion.
So we've now got a bit of a differential. We're on 24 Wiltshire, 14 Rebellion.
Yeah, so Wiltshire managing to open up a little bit of a gap. That was a great jam for them early on. Be interesting to see what both teams come back with now.
Absolutely. So it looks like we've got Pip again and then Badger. Both skaters who played in the Royal Derby World Cup.
Yeah, Pip played for England and Badger, I believe, played for Wales.
Yeah. And just look at how much they move and look at them go.
Pip's jamming is just a joy to my heart. Full matrix style, just the core strength, the way that Pip moves is just great. I have to be really careful, otherwise I could just sit here and fangirl about Pip all day. So Pip now coming around on a scoring pass.
Are they going to shut down Badger? They are both fast jammers. Are they just going to make Badger waste the energy?
Rebellion do have a blocker in the box though, so they might be choosing to run this jam long to get that blocker out.
It does look like it.
Their bench coach today is Jono, otherwise known as Counterfeit, who is a skater for Borderland Bandits and was bench coach and head coach for Team GB Juniors this year, so and has been in Derby for a really long time, so very knowledgeable.
Yeah,
very
the knowledge
smart.
that's come out is huge, and just watching how much these skaters are turning to try and recatch, get themselves past. Beautiful outside curve around that skater, get your final 4 points and call it off. Beautifully done.
And a really nice look to the bench as well to see what the bench wanted done.
We love that. We love when the jammers look for their bench and they just do what they're told.
Have you ever? Are you also a bench coach, Sonic?
No, I'm not a jammer or a bench coach.
So Rebellion picked up 12 points in that jam. Wiltshire got 4, so our differential is now back to 2 points.
Yeah, and that's very nice. It's going to be interesting for that to be all game.
Yeah, so that is Airy Fairy, I believe, jamming for Rebellion
and Diamond Dodge. Right, we have one black blocker going to the penalty box.
That was Serenity on a forearms penalty. So Dodge is now out and your lead jammer in this jam, hustling it round.
Oh, very nicely done.
Absolutely, just straight through the middle of that blocker. Diamond Dodge, of course, dual chartered with Crash Test Brummies, so this won't be the only game that Dodge plays today.
No.
Oh, but Dodge has picked up a penalty and is now heading to the penalty box, just waiting for that to pop up on the overlay. That was a cut, I think, cut track penalty.
Think so. They attempted to do a apex jump, just didn't quite manage to do it at the right place.
So power jam now for Rebellion with Airy Fairy on a scoring pass now, a second scoring pass. Lovely staying in on the inside line there.
Absolutely. It's going to be really good to see exactly what they're going to do for this. You know, are we going to have a full 2 minutes? They're not going to go. They're letting them go in. Here's our offense. Going to try and make you a bit of a space.
It will be a 2-minute jam because Dodge had lead, so nobody now has the power to call the jam off. Dodge is now back on the track and coming up against again Rebellion, putting all 4 blockers there to try and lovely little shoulder at the last minute there from Rack and Ralph, sending Dodge to the inside line.
Absolutely, and Airy Fairy did not get much out of that power jam at all.
No, these blockers from Wiltshire are so solid. I think you can see by the lower scoring games that Wiltshire had to me, normally looking at
Star
consistently.
Pass?
Oh, yeah, star pass to Steph Sentence. So, looking at low scoring games means really strong blockers normally to me.
Absolutely, and it's really showing it that, like, even during that section, the black blockers were really calm, they were really chill, they weren't really doing much, you know?
Yeah, very, very calm.
It was very relaxed, and they completely shut down that power jam.
Very flexible, very waterfally. Rebellion blockers more hard hitting, I think. Always looking for that big hit out.
Yes. So
You're very excited.
who do we have?
Thundercats up against Law Renegade. So Rebellion deepening their jammer rotation here a little bit. So it looked like they were just going to run 3 for a little while and offset the jammer matchups. Got the pivot there from Rebellion, just bridging that pack out, giving some encouragement to that 3 wall. Law Renegade pushing, looking for space, push hard, and then dive to the side.
I saw the ref call it. There's a bridge. Just the metal of these blockers, right? You know, Rebellion's just pushed out, fully extended that zone all the way out until they cannot go any further, and yet on the flip side, they've still also got their jammer right there.
Sorry, I was too busy watching that Sirius block. Nearly drew a cut on Law Renegade there. The foot went out, and for a minute I wasn't sure Law Renegade had realised that the foot had gone over the line. But they recycled back. So we've had a star pass now to Boris. Boris pivoting these days, but historically a very, very good jammer. Jammed for Team Wales at the 2018 World Cup. Very fast skater. Very experienced roller derby player. Has been playing for a really long time.
I do believe that is our 3rd star pass so far this game, all 3 of which have been done by Rebellion.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
So it's very clear. Ooh. It's very clear the kind of pressure that Wiltshire is applying to Rebellion, that so far, you know, we're 11 minutes in and we've had 3 star passes.
Wow, are we only 11 minutes in?
11 minutes in.
My goodness.
We're on 42 points to Wiltshire, 38 to Rebellion. This is such a close game.
Wow, 3 points differential in this game. Big scoring jam there for Wiltshire, taking the lead back, 6 points for them. Just 1 point scored by Boris for Rebellion.
We've got currently, Wiltshire have scored 5 penalties, Rebellion have scored 3. It's quite a variety of penalties so far.
Yeah, we've got a couple of forearms there for Wiltshire. We've had a couple of multiplayers, couple of directions, we're 2 and 2. Two multiplayers, 2 forearms, 2 directions, 2 cuts. Pretty much what you'd expect, I think.
I think so, yeah. It's a very collected game at this moment. You know, no one's stressed, no one is acting out. Everyone seems so calm in everything they're doing at the moment.
Yeah, and we did have a little conversation before the game about how Rebellion are used to dominating.
Absolutely. So it'll be really interesting if they change after half time, depending on what that score is. Because Wiltshire lead again. Pip fighting through and following, so...
No, we've had a cut track penalty for the Wiltshire Jammer, so there was the 2 whistles and then a little bit of checking from refs. So...
Has Pip been awarded it?
Pip has been awarded
Yes,
lead, and Pip is on a power jam, and that will not be sentences that Wiltshire would be happy to hear.
Absolutely not, and we are going to see Pip do some damage during this power jam, and if we don't, I'm going to eat my hat.
This could be a really big jam for Rebellion, so beautiful offence on the outside line, nice little dip there from Pip. Wiltshire do also have a question mark in the penalty box for the multiplayer. So again there, so back on track now. Swift with the cut. Has come back on track now and is blocking. We've got another blocker, Linzane for Wiltshire, who is in the box on a cut track penalty. Pip now coming round for the 4th scoring pass. Swift still working on the initial. Oh, big tumble to the outside line there, helped out by Wreck and Ralph.
Oh, again.
Big thumping on the outside line. We're getting the noises in now. These teams are looking to put a stamp on it. So Pip so far 16 points.
We're looking for our 1st star pass for Wiltshire.
And
currently I don't... It's just stashed, I believe, at the minute.
Oh no, that's a cut track penalty again for Swift. So Star Stash made it out on the initial but did pick up a cut.
And that's the jam, guys. So we are going to have a power jam start in Rebellion's favour. Who are we going to have taking that? That looks like
Airy Fairy. So 20 points in that jam for Pip. That is a huge jam for Rebellion, about halfway through this half. Now with the Power Jam start as well, this is their opportunity, not just in terms of points and the actual thing in the game, but mentally for Wiltshire at this point, this is going to be...
Absolutely, and this is the sort of scenario that Rebellion like and thrive in.
100%, yeah, they're going to make sure that they absolutely take no prisoners in this situation. So Airy Fairy working on that initial, looking for some sort of chaotic offence from Rebellion. Hasn't been very coordinated so far. Now deciding to keep that goat at the back. That is 15.50. That's Reckless, who is making hard work of it, to be fair. Has made about 15-foot progress on the track.
It is. We've now had the jammer released and is back on track. We've still not had a lead called. We're 36 seconds in.
So really, really good Power Jam kill there from Wiltshire. Really good awareness from Boris, noticing that the Wiltshire jammer was back on track, and they immediately let Reckless go.
Absolutely, and come out from the penalty box and caught lead.
Yeah, so for those of you watching at home who aren't aware, you can't have lead if you get a penalty in this jam, but if you started the jam in the penalty box, you can still pick up lead. So lead for Swift. So as I was saying, really good from Wiltshire now to have... Doesn't seem to have phased them in the slightest.
No.
Airy Fairy still stuck on that. I thought was a 2-wall, but has now become a 3-wall at the back.
And it's interesting because we thought that Rebellion were really going to take advantage of that Power Jam, and Wiltshire did such a good job of just constantly reforming back around, turning and turning and turning, that they just destroyed it. There was no advantage in that Power Jam.
Really, really nice work there. Really good awareness from Airy Fairy and quick getting back on track there. Wiltshire tried to draw the cut, but that wasn't successful. Left Airy Fairy with only one blocker to beat at the front, so has now completed the initial pass. That does look like Swift's gone to the box again, though, on a multiplayer. The elusive jam at multiplayer, which I keep saying is elusive, but I feel like I've said that several times this year, and that means it can't be that elusive.
No, I don't know.
I think it's happening more and more now when jammers are taking whips. We have had an
They did a star pass. It's got to be because we have a black jammer ready. The penalty box is not sat in a jammer seat.
Okay, fair enough. So
and I was going to question why the pivot was putting the pivot hat back on their helmet, but it must have been they took both off.
Okay. Fair enough. So we had a star pass. So it's on our overlay, which is what you're seeing as well. We've still got it flashing that Swift was lead, and we've still got the star next to Swift's name. So we actually don't have a very good view of the track itself here, being up on this balcony. So we will wait to find out what that official review is about. We will bring you all the gossip when we've got there. So we've got all our officials in the middle there having a chat about it. Interestingly, Dortmus just told me just before this game started, Wiltshire's OTA team will be taking part in the first ever WFTDA Open Division game on October the 5th in Bristol against Bristol's OTA team. So that's very exciting.
It is very exciting. There's so much going on in the world of roller derby now that's just expanding and picking up. It's so many fun things are happening. There's so many dual rostering of skaters. Like, I can't even... You can probably count. How many dual roster skaters have we got across this tournament? There's just so many.
Across this tournament, I don't even want to think about it. I hadn't done that particular bit of counting, and I'd have to stop talking for 5 minutes to work it out. I'm going to say more than 1 and less than 100.
That's not a fair stat. I don't appreciate it.
Specific as I'm willing to be at the moment. There is our lovely Paul Jones, our tournament head photographer for this weekend, who told me this morning that he's currently standing at 593 games. So I guess this will be 594. Although he did say he was going to shoot a bit of the game in track 1, so maybe that's 595. But either way, we're expecting Paul to hit 600 games this weekend, which is incredible. Official photographer for Wiltshire Roller Derby, for Tiger Bay Brawlers, and for Team Wales at the World Cup. And an all-round, very lovely human being.
He is wonderful, and I swear he's got a top in every colour and every team's logo. So I know you just named 3 teams, but he's everyone.
I think it's because he's lovely. Everyone just goes, "Oh, have a shirt. Please be part of our team." So we don't have any information yet. Again, we can't run into the middle and find things out, so we are...
The official review is still in progress. We don't currently have any update to give you, but as soon as we do, we will. So Rebellion used the official review. They were looking for a head penalty when engaging in the wall on the straight on Wiltshire's. We're assuming it's going to be blocking with the head. So we're just waiting to find out the result.
So a minute ago, when we were talking about what penalties everyone had, I was going to point out that we had a whole conversation before this game started that we almost never see a blocking with the head penalty as quite a rare penalty.
Yeah.
And our producer has just pointed out that I should have put some money on that, and now we've got a potential blocking with the head penalty being called.
Absolutely, and it's always the penalty that I want photos of, because it's just so unnatural having someone's head that low.
Well, and it's really dangerous, so that's, I mean, a lot of our penalties are about keeping people safe as much as they are about keeping the gameplay fair.
Absolutely. It does look as though it has been awarded to Swift. Swift is now in the penalty box.
And that's a misconduct penalty. Flashing at the moment. I don't know if that's the right penalty code, but at the moment that is showing up as a G, which is a misconduct penalty. So again, we've got Pip on a power jam, and again I would expect that to be bad news for Wiltshire and good news for Rebellion. Wiltshire now also have a second blocker taking a seat in the penalty box. So, I mean, so often we see this happen.
Oh, lovely little dodge there by Pip. So trying to engage and butt on the floor.
So often games are decided by penalties.
Oh, for sure.
I really hope this isn't one of them.
Swift has served their 30 seconds. They are now back on track and engaging.
And actually quite a good penalty shutdown from Wiltshire. Pip now just picking up the second scoring pass. So that's not bad going.
No,
30
absolutely
seconds
controlled.
with only 4 points on the board. So now coming round for the third scoring pass. Swift still star on head.
Ooh! Do you know what, some of this awareness is really nice, because we had the red pivot, lift up a leg and just avoid someone to just stay in on the outside line. I say that whilst they have just been given a cut track.
Sent to the penalty box. Pip's had enough. Pip's called the jam.
I'd be happy.
Smart play. I mean, both these teams are going to, because of the nature of the way Tier 2 is, both of these teams are going to have another game tomorrow. Regardless of the outcome, we will have a gold medal game on this track at 3:30, but the bronze medal game will happen on track 1 as well at 1 o'clock.
I don't know.
Game 3 on track 1 is the Tier 2 bronze medal game, and then game 4 on that track is the Tier 3 bronze medal game.
So we have a timeout to Wiltshire at this moment. Rebellion are sat on 70 points, Wiltshire on 46.
That's a smart choice from Wiltshire actually to take a timeout at this point. They've had quite a bit of penalty trouble, including jammer penalties in the last couple of jams. Just a chance to take a breather, reassess, see what's working. Just give everyone a minute to calm down. This is a big deal for these teams. You know, getting promoted to Tier 1 is a huge deal for these teams. There'll be a lot riding on it.
And so far, Rebellion are only sat on 4 penalties total, whereas we've got 12 on Wiltshire. So, you know, we're doing 3 times the amount of penalties.
I have to say, and I apologise to Rebellion for this, please don't at me, but I would have expected the penalties to maybe go the other way around.
Interesting.
I thought Wiltshire would have had a clean game, but Rebellion are playing a very calm, very focused, having a little dance on the jam line. I'm enjoying that. You rock on with your bad selves, Sirius Balkan Boris. Having a lovely time.
Yeah, you've always got to have fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like when they dance.
Jam line dance off is one of my favourite things about roller derby, I have to say.
So that looks like Airy Fairy and Badger. I do love Badger's starting stance. Oh, yes, Badger up on the outside line, dancing up there.
So he picks up lead jammer really quickly for Wiltshire. Rebellion now with the wall. Oh, straight through the middle of that wall. You've got to close that gap quicker. And then darts back to the inside. Just one left to beat and does so. Picks up those 4 points. That team timeout was beautifully taken by the look of it for Wiltshire.
Airy Fairy is still stuck within this Wiltshire wall that's constantly reforming, because, look, they're not even always together. I want to hazard a guess that was the quickest so far this game that anyone's picked up lead.
I am prepared to back you on that. I think you are almost certainly right. What hasn't been quick in this game is star passes.
Oh, God, no.
And we are now looking for a star pass. Airy Ferry is looking for a star
look
pass.
at it. It's happened.
It has happened. For a minute there, I thought Steph Sentence was just going to be like, no. I really would prefer not to, actually, if it's all the same to you. But we have got it. Airy Ferry now in the wall. Boris. Oh, we've had an apex jump.
And a cool off. Beautifully done. What a great awareness. Called it off straight away so that, you know, I'm pretty sure Reds hit that wall, but not in a way that they got any points.
I think that call-off was about 0.3 of a second before Steph Sentence hit the wall. 12 points picked up by Wiltshire in that jam.
Absolutely.
So bringing that differential just to 12 points again now. So amazing work from Wiltshire to come back after that. Little penalty spiral. They had a couple of jams where that could all have gone wrong for them, but amazing work to bring that back. Pip's got 100% lead percentage and has scored 66% of Rebellion's points. Thank you very much, Alex. Oh, okay. Oh, so she's the only jammer for Rebellion that has had lead. There has been a jam where Pip didn't get lead. And just to prove us wrong immediately, as we say it, Pandemonium picks up lead for Rebellion.
We didn't notice, though, Badger is in the penalty box as the Wiltshire jammer for a cut track.
Okay, so obviously either wasn't in bounds at the takeoff or on the landing of that apex jump right at the end of the jam.
I would guess it's the landing.
I did have a little niggle where I wondered if that was in bounds, but... so Pandemonium now on a scoring pass.
Do you know, the amount that Pandemonium is moving compared to the Wiltshire blockers is starkly different.
Yeah, it's really hard work when you've got a jammer all over the place like that not to be twitchy, and Wiltshire have been really good in this game at not being twitchy.
Absolutely, which is interesting when they've got 14 penalties as a team, where they look like they're skating calm.
I think that call-off came a little bit too late there from Pandemonium. Looked at the bench, was told to call it, but I think that was too slow to avoid Wiltshire picking up any points. Yeah, I think that's 2. So 3 on that jam for Rebellion, 2 for Wiltshire. So not too bad. Still coming out with the win, but I think with that differential just coming back a little bit in the last jam.
Absolutely. The last few jams, Rebellion have done very good at keeping this point differential. We have a timeout to Rebellion. Currently, the way we're playing this game, I'm really looking for, especially at half-time, I want them to come back and do more star passes, or at least look like they're going to try.
Yeah, I really think it shows that these jammers are used to getting lead, because the stars coming off and the star passes are happening, but it's taking 1 or 2 scoring passes.
Absolutely. It's not taking advantage of the situation. They're going, no, I can still get out. And I am that jammer that hates doing a pass. But sometimes you've got to just be aware of the situation. If your pivot's right there, you can't get lead because they're gone. Sometimes the pass just makes the most strategic sense.
Yeah, it's not all about you.
It's not.
It's all about us as announcers.
It is.
It's not all about the jammers.
Exactly.
It's about the team. Just get the star out. It's about getting the star out.
And having that star out and having your pivot, if they're at the front of the pack, they've got less to travel. That pressure that they immediately put on, the amount of points they're going to score often is reduced because they feel that pressure and go, no, I'm going to grab 1 or 2 and I'm going to call it off.
Yeah, you're limiting that.
And that's what I want to see in the second half. And I'm just surprised we're not having that. We're not having stash and grabs of points.
From teams at this level, I would expect to see star passes happening a lot quicker.
You know, we've only had 1 jam of 20 points scored, 1 of 16, so we're not like we're consistently scoring high, but we're not having quick jams. We're on jam 12. We've got 9.5 minutes left of the game. I am shocked by that. Yeah,
so we've got Thundercats and La Renegade up jamming for our team. So Thundercats for Rebellion being shown the inside line, by 7:02 from Wiltshire, coming back, putting Reckless on her knees, but that is a solid wall. And La Renegade facing exactly the same problem. I think looking for Lindsay in the pivot, coming back from the box going, I'm going to get some offense. And Lindsay was like, no, I'm going to help these. I'm going to help this lot out, actually.
It is. And look, we're 45 seconds into this jam.
We've barely hit the pivot line. Nobody's getting any offense.
Did someone lose a kneecap?
Someone has definitely lost a kneecap. Yeah, no one's really getting anywhere. This is very much a blockers jam.
Absolutely, and it's a real testament to how hard these blockers are holding. This is impressive. It's hard. A, it's hard to push for this long, but B, it's hard as a blocker to stay in this much control and holding a jammer for so long.
It really is. So that was finally there, the offense coming in from 808 Bookworm's Revenge, absolutely dropping serious block to
It was
the
beautiful,
floor.
but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, that wall was reformed just immediately on the jammer. We're not moving again.
We have 30 seconds. Are we gonna have a no lead jam?
Oh, have you announcers cursed it now? You've done it. You've announcers cursed it now. You've ruined
We've got 15
it.
seconds. I don't want anyone to get lead because that will be funnier.
If you can see from your camera as well, I love that Boris skates in converted Vans. That
I gave them an award last year for best skates.
yeah, same skates, brightly coloured converted Vans. That's it.
We had a no lead jam.
We didn't even make it barely halfway around the track, and no lead jammer in that jam. So it's fairly safe to say that our blockers at least have settled in to what they're doing.
I don't know about you. I've been in roller derby for 8 years, and I have never been present at a game where no lead happened within a full 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. I had one at the World Cup.
Oh, I wasn't on that game.
I think it was, I want to say USA Fuego Latino.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get to see that.
Which was a great game.
And it's such a testament to how hard all of these skaters are playing for 2 minutes to get no lead. That is intense.
Yeah.
Saying that Pip has managed to come out and get lead over Badger on this Jam 13. Oh, not lead.
So Pip was out first, but must have got a no-earned pass. So Badger was lead. Badger goes for the high five, and Pip was like, "Oh, sorry, I missed that."
But very smartly done. Badger taking it and going, "No, you're not having any more points. We'll just call it there."
Okay, so
Perfect tactics.
We're edging our way back up. We're easing ourselves nicely into scoring some more points where we've had no lead. And then
Absolutely.
we've had a lead jammer, but we're not going to do a scoring pass. Maybe we'll get a scoring pass this time.
We've got Airy Fairy in red, is that?
Yep, and Diamond Dodge in black for Wiltshire. I wonder if that was the first scoreless or the first 2 scoreless jams we've had in this game.
For both sides, it's got to be. Alex will confirm in a minute.
Yep.
Yeah!
Look at me remembering things. So recycle back from Dodge, and Airy Fairy has picked up lead for Rebellion. Oh,
That is Airy Fairy's first lead so far this game.
Yeah.
It's only Red's second lead that wasn't Pip.
so Dodge looking there for the star pass. I think that is that question mark 786? Yeah, is the pivot. Oh, nearly it made it to the hand. There we go.
That was a very nice star pass.
That was really, really nicely done. I mean, star passes, we talk about the speed and what the jammer has to do, but it's so dependent on the pivot getting themselves in a decent place.
And question mark was in a wonderful place and just took it perfectly. That's what you want from your pivot.
Yeah. If they're not in a good place, there's no point in them taking the star.
Absolutely not.
Because they'll just find themselves back in the same situation as the jammer was in.
But I'm glad they heard my complaint. So we are currently sat Rebellion 77, Wiltshire 57, 20-point differential. It is staying in that range for the last 5 jams, I think.
Yeah, so the last 5 minutes or so has been that jam. So Rebellion not managing to increase that lead.
Badger has got lead again, running up on that outside line. They've got to shut down the outside line on Badger.
Yes, that's the second time Badger's just sprinted straight up the outside line, isn't it? I don't know if they're trying to do offence for their own jammer. Oh, a little apex jump and a roly-poly over that, over the track and up and carries
they
on.
were giving it 4 points. Pip is now out and looking to score some points. So how many is Badger going to get before they call it off? Because this has got to be a stash and grab. I can hear it. There it is.
And again, really surprised at Wiltshire's blockers just waiting at the back there.
Yeah. Why aren't they
sprinting to the front and protecting their points? Run away.
Don't let them get that cheeky 1 point that they got.
That's frustrating when I see that happen, I'm not going to lie. So Rebellion on 78 now, Wiltshire on 63. So it's still super, super tight. That's only a 15-point differential. This is very exciting. Obviously, you all know we've got a community Discord if you're watching at home, so you can drop messages in the chat for us. You can tell us who you're supporting, what your predictions are for the weekend, why on earth you are not in Stoke-on-Trent with all of the rest of us. I mean, who doesn't want to spend several hours sat on the M6?
That is Wiltshire's Swift has got lead again. I do believe currently Wiltshire's got the overall leads, but currently they're quite close on who's had it over the last few jams. It's been passing and passing over who gets lead. Back in looking for some more points. Lovely engagement and just moving. Ooh.
Is this the first time Swift's been out since that little penalty spiral? A few jams ago?
No, they have been on a couple times since.
So great work coming out and getting lead. We've had a star pass. I was going to say we haven't had any penalty trouble for a little while, but now I've said that, there'll be half of both teams will be in the box. So Swift, I think, was looking as if to maybe call it, but has been told to wait. 7:02's in the box on an unknown penalty.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for question mark to get a question mark penalty. I'd like that to happen, please.
That would be joyous. Wiltshire are doing a very good job right now holding on to Boris. You know? They keep recycling Boris.
Really good. And as you say that, Boris has actually managed to make it through on a first scoring pass. But a great choice there actually from Swift, because if that jam is called now, no. So they're obviously trying to build this differential up, and at the moment it's working. Boris has managed to put 4 points on the board, but Wiltshire and Swift now on 12. So that's a bigger differential than it would have been. So sometimes that risk pays off.
It does. And you know what? So far, although Boris is now on their second set of scoring, they have still been run back again. So it is allowing Swift to build up that difference.
And Boris being a really strong blocker for Rebellion will now potentially be a little bit tired. And maybe that's what we want as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
16 points for Wiltshire in that jam, 6 for Rebellion. So that brings our differential now back to just 5 points. And we've got a minute and a half left of this period of the game. Do you know, sometimes I do predictions on flat track stats and it says it's going to be a really close game and it's a blowout game, and sometimes it's the other way around, but this time flat track stats have not let me down. So Pitt is jamming for Rebellion up against the Renegade for Wiltshire. Pitt battling through that wall, tried a little bit of side to side and didn't get anywhere, so we're just going to go through.
Yeah, you know what, we're having a lot of jammers falling over on this track.
Yeah, I wonder what I've never skated in here, so I don't know what the floor's like for that, but wow.
Nice little hop and a skip on the inside line for Pip to get out.
The Renegade has been sent to the penalty box.
Yeah.
So this will be a 2-minute jam, so this will be the last jam of the period. We are again, I'm not 100% sure what the penalty is yet, just waiting for that to be confirmed. Little dip on the outside line, so lots of our jammers favouring the outside line today. Pip picks up the first 4 points. Wow, that's a tongue twister. So Rebellion looking to swarm, opening, beautiful offence there. Rebellion's offence in this game hasn't always been stunning and textbook. It's been a bit chaotic.
But when it works, it's always the really calm little things they do. Like the ones we've just seen. They've just stood in the way and given a small gap for Pip.
Yeah.
And that is what is working for Rebellion. And any time they step out of that offence, it fails.
So
Pip is on the floor.
Fallen again. We will, as I said, we will have a 2-minute jam. No one can call the jam. The Renegade tried to call the jam, wasn't able to because not lead, but that is the end of the 2 minutes. That is the end of the jam. Rebellion picked up 8 points, just waiting to see, did Wiltshire, so no, Wiltshire didn't pick up any points in that jam. So, we've got an official timeout.
Ooh.
So that might or might not trigger an extra jam. I think Wiltshire have decided to put a line up out on the track just in case. So with the 8 points that Rebellion picked up in that jam, that brings their total to 92. So that is a 13-point difference. And that is the rolling whistle for half-time.
Absolutely.
So that is intermission. So that was, as predicted, a very exciting game.
It is, and there's definitely things I want to see change when they come back out.
Yeah, quicker star passes. I'd like to see more of that coordinated offence from Rebellion, because when it works,
it's fantastic when it works.
But sometimes it's just a little bit chaotic.
And I want less penalties from Wiltshire. They're on 18 so far for the team compared to Rebellion's 6, and it's drastically different. And in all honesty, I think if Wiltshire can get that under control, if they've had 18 penalties and that's the point difference.
Yeah, 100%. There's that tiny little points difference, but they've had 3 times as many penalties. So yeah, that's a really good shout. I hate to see games decided that way.
Absolutely. So
we're going to take a little break. I might try and find some coffee, and we will see you back here in about 10 minutes. I think we've got a slightly shorter intermission. That looks like 9.5 minutes on that clock.
Yes.
So
we'll see you real soon.
Hello, everybody. We are back. We've had a slightly shorter than usual intermission because of the delay in starting that game because of the charter issues. So if you are just joining us, we've got Rebellion on 96 points and they're playing in red today, and Wiltshire playing in black on 79 points. It's been a very close game. We had Rebellion. Wiltshire had a tiny bit of penalty trouble in the middle of the half.
Although Wiltshire is leading with 19 penalties, one skater's got 3 of them, so it's very evenly spread out amongst their skaters.
We've had a couple of jams where Wiltshire have only had 2 blockers on track, but to be fair, those blockers have done quite well out of it.
Absolutely, considering the point difference and what we're looking at, they've been very good at shutting down when they've not had many people on track.
And actually looking at that lead percentage that our lovely producer Alexa's on Fire has given us, Wiltshire have had 58% of the leads in this game. So that really shows as well.
It does, but I think it's really important to note that 13% have just been no lead.
Yep, so that's about 2 jams.
And, we've had very slow jams. We've not had a lot of jams during the first half, but that is still something to consider within this to see.
Yes, Rebellion have had a lot of success when Pip's been jamming, but their other jammers have been less successful in getting lead. They've still been getting out and shutting those jams down.
Yeah, because I think Airy Fairy's only had lead once.
Pandemonium has had lead
once as well, I think. So it's...
Pip's had lead almost every time that they've been on track.
Yeah.
So, if anyone's interested, by the way, the last time I checked as I walked over here a minute ago, the Devon-Belfast score on track 1 was 187 to Devon,
Ooh.
82 to Belfast.
So whereas 1 point Pip was, Pip's lead has dropped dramatically.
Okay, so Pip's personal lead percentage is 43%.
So it's still very good. It's still a very good lead percentage.
Up big jams. So, as you would expect from someone that jammed for England at the World Cup.
Yeah. Can't say much about that.
So we've got our teams. I was going to say we haven't got anyone on track, but then I looked up over the screen and they're all on the pivot line. We've gone a bit 2014.
Oh, yeah. So we have our skaters and crew are getting ready.
We will have a slight pack advantage for Wiltshire at the beginning of this jam. We've got Wreck and Ralph sitting in the penalty box on a forearms penalty. Is still seated in the box, so we'll have at least 20 seconds to serve at the beginning of this jam, so that works well for La Renegade and Wiltshire. And we've got Airy Fairy out jamming for Rebellion. Just waiting for we've got our 5 seconds, and teams just moving back there towards the pivot line. Rebellion obviously starting at the front, as you would do when you're at a deficit.
Absolutely.
La Renegade cautiously approaching the pack. Airy Fairy shown to the outside, but we've got Wiltshire evening up the blocker lineups with Bookworm's Revenge taking a seat for a multiplayer. La Renegade has picked up lead, but Airy Fairy now with a nice bit of offence, which is what I said I wanted to see from Rebellion. On the outside line, Wreck and Ralph are coming in and wrecking them, causing huge gap. Lovely, but last line of defence from B there to knock Airy Fairy to the outside line and recycle. So getting some offence now from Boris, working lovely offence from Boris, but a big, that's a shame. Really good get into the front. That was 19B again, who's been solid in this game so far.
I have so many words that are not coming out of my mouth. That was such nice coverage. Every time Airy Fairy looked like they had a space, someone's given them a space, held someone out of their way, Wiltshire just rip it instantly.
Yeah.
Nice little knockoff, run back 5 foot. That is exactly what I wanted to see coming out of this half.
Absolutely textbook. So 4 points apiece for each of those teams in the first half. We now got Pandemonium up against Diamond Dodge. Diamond Dodge there battling that wall at the front. Wiltshire designating one blocker a little bit there to offence, who is now bridging. That's Thistle Scratch. Rebellion had put all of their blockers on defence. And as you said in the first half, Pandemonium, one of those jammers that is side to side, all over the place, making those blockers really work. Darting to the in, but going back to the out again. Diamond Dodge pushing really hard there. Again, Thistle Scratch with the offence, trying to split that wall up.
And do you know what? I love that. I love that assist, completely pulling that wall apart.
Yeah, just destroying them. So we've got blockers now bridging. Big run back there from Doyle on Diamond Dodge, but Diamond Dodge finding space on the outside, showing the inside line there by Rack and Ralph again.
And that was great staying on track, because how many of us have actually got the strength to go back and then come back up and not go out of bounds?
I have not.
I don't.
And again, those two blockers, Rack and Ralph and Steph Sentence together, is a duo of blockers to strike fear in the heart of any jammer. But Dodge has managed to get out and pick up lead. That's over a minute and 20 seconds into the jam for us to get lead. And there we go.
Second longest time it's taken for lead to be called so far this game.
Dodge with a little shirt whip off a teammate there, and Pandemonium with star in hand. Again, I think these teams might have listened back to what we said in the first half. I feel like they might have spies, because we've got the immediate star pass, or looking for the star pass now. Unfortunately, Rebellion have got a blocker in the penalty box, so the pivot. Oh, there we go. So we have had the star pass now. That's gone to Steph Sentence, but Steph Sentence finding herself stuck on the back of that wall.
Absolutely no resistance there for the Wiltshire jammer, just coming up and going through.
So running that jam there for the full 2 minutes. Rebellion not completing the initial pass. 12 points on for Wiltshire, which brings us back to a 2-point game.
100 points Rebellion at 98 Wiltshire. Oh, it's going to get spicy.
It's been spicy all the way through. There was just a couple of jams where Rebellion looked like they were pulling out a lead, but Wiltshire staying in the game, keeping their heads and pulling it back.
We do have an official timeout for the moment. It looks as though a penalty is being given to the red jammer from the last game, so they are now...
I wonder if that was... who is going to go and take that? Steph Sentence now sitting in the box, so that's the pivot turned jammer from the last jam.
For a cut track, which means, who is that? Is that Swift lined up unopposed on the jam line?
Yeah, it looks like Swift, lined up. So power jam with one blocker and their jammer in the penalty box. And immediate lead for Swift. Really nice offence there to keep that wall separated.
Moses parting of the Red Sea. I want to see it again.
So Rebellion have set up as a 2 at the front, 2 at the back wall, with Doyle and Boris there at the front, trying to get some semblance of a 3 wall now as we wait for Steph Sentence to come back on track. So Swift's picked up first 4 points, and we now have 2 jammers on pack. So obviously Steph Sentence there looking...
Absolutely. I'm really enjoying, you can see that they are more of a pivot than a jammer, looking over their shoulder going, right, well, I can see where they are.
Yeah, all that awareness all of the time. So getting some offence from Doyle bridging back the wall now. So Steph Sentence just really needs to push that wall out of play and keep forcing Wiltshire to drop a bridge. Swift trying to find space on the outside line. Oh, a lovely little bit of toe stop work there on the outside line. Steph Sentence has now completed the initial pass, coming around on a scoring pass. I wonder if Wiltshire... No, I did wonder if Wiltshire would opt to run the jam long, with obviously having a pivot turned jammer.
Absolutely. They've managed to swap the differential, though. Wiltshire is now in lead, 105 points to Rebellion's 100. It made... I would have been so mad if they let them get a point on that one.
I don't know, though. I sometimes think running the jam long when you've got a pivot, it can pay off. We saw it pay off a couple of times early in the game for Rebellion, running the jam long and managing to pick up a bigger points differential. But equally, with a game this close, I can see why maybe you don't want to take the risk, especially with the penalty trouble that Wiltshire have had.
That is Pip picking up lead and increasing her personal lead percentage again up against Badger.
But Rebellion with a bit of penalty trouble themselves now from blockers. So Rebellion with just 2 blockers on the track now, trying to stop Badger. And the call-off, I think, might have come too late to stop Wiltshire picking up those points.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know which Wiltshire blocker it was, but that Wiltshire blocker standing behind the red blocker so that when Badger hit, they couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Genius.
Love
that. You need that level of awareness.
Yeah, that's a great bit of offence there. I'm not going to hit anyone out of the way, I'm just going to restrict their movement. So we did manage to get one Rebellion blocker released right at the end of that jam, which might have been the reason for the slightly delayed call-off at the end of the jam.
Potentially.
So still a pack advantage for Wiltshire at the beginning with 4 blockers on the track, but Rebellion pulling it back a little bit with 3.
Yeah.
And we are putting Pip out again for just 2 jams in a row.
Why not? And it's fun because we're jam 4. You know, so far this half, Wiltshire has got 1 penalty, but so far Rebellion has got 3. So they have listened to our conversation and are getting less penalties.
Wiltshire have listened to our conversation. Rebellion have had 50% of the penalties they had in the first half already 7 minutes into the second half, because they were on 6 at the end of the first half, if I remember rightly, and they've added 3 to that. So. Okay, just because we said we wanted Wiltshire to get more get less penalties,
didn't mean they needed to go to Rebellion.
I didn't realise there was an assigned quota for the game. So we're having a little timeout here. We've got Boris, the pivot for Rebellion, sitting in the penalty box, full complement of blockers for Wiltshire. This is giving Pip a nice little rest in between jams, having done back-to-back jams, although the last jam was quite short.
It was.
So let's see. Don't go anywhere after this game as well. Stay and watch the Bristol-Cambridge game and find out which team the winner of this is going to be playing tomorrow.
The resistance that Pip is up against with that wall is quite impressive. Really holding Pip to that outside line, not gaining much traction at all as they're trying to push up.
Absolutely relentless jamming from Pip there at the back, making use of the one-hand down rule and just shoving through the pack, has picked up lead for Rebellion. We've had a very quick star pass from Wiltshire to Bookworm's Revenge. Pip finds that space on the outside line with a little spinny, but this time...
Renegade, lovely knock-off to run back.
So this time, Rebellion choosing to do that. Well, it's a pivot jamming, so let's take our chances with running it long, and this looks to be paying off for them so far as Pip completes the first scoring pass, looks to the bench, who says carry on, keep going.
Absolutely. Very nice.
But Bookworm's Revenge manages to find that space on the inside line, and Rebellion immediately drop back with some coordinated offence to get Pip through very easily for a second 4-point pass. Oh, a big drop to the outside.
But they're back up, it's all good.
And I think from the hand signals I just saw that... No,
we're going to have an official review.
So I thought for a minute we were getting Sirius Block getting sent to the penalty box for that hit at the end of the jam, but I don't think it was. So we will bring you the official review and gossip when we have it. So it's a 1-point game, Sonic. It is a 1-point game. I was prepared for this to be a really close game, and I'm very excited to see it.
Absolutely, because I think games where the points are only a couple point different, it's a lot more entertaining to watch. 100%,
and it's really interesting to see tactically what the teams do with that and how they choose to play that game, whether they are playing it safe and playing for tiny little points increments, or whether they are trying to, for example, run a jam long and try and get the other jammer a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. And when you get games where there's like 200 points difference, they get comfortable to the point where they can start doing things they would never normally do.
Yeah.
And that's when you can start doing we've never done this before, let's experiment.
Yeah, and sometimes that can be really interesting to watch.
And it can be, but I think as a watcher, it's less entertaining to watch someone get thrashed.
So we asked our team some questions, and when we asked Rebellion what's one thing people might not know about your team, they said they gave us two answers to that. One was where they're from, so they're based in Northampton. So obviously a lot of our teams, Wiltshire, they're based in Wiltshire. A lot of our teams you can tell, but Rebellion have actually moved around a lot. They were originally based in Bedford, and then they moved to Milton Keynes. So when Grid City and Milton Keynes dissolved. A lot of them joined Rebellion, and then Rebellion ended up moving to Milton Keynes for a while, and now they're based in Northampton. We obviously same venue issues that are faced by many of the teams around the country, where venues shut down or stop allowing skating to happen, and it's really hard to find a hall that you can train in. So they're now based in Northampton. But they also said they have a dance party before every game as part of their warm-up, which I love.
I didn't watch it this morning, and I am disappointed in myself.
I'm disappointed in you too, so I want to
tomorrow
know what
I've
they
got to make
dance
sure
for.
we do.
I need more information about this dance party. I want to know what tracks they dance to. I want to know who's got the best moves. All right, and I want to know who's in the corner, like trying to join in, but actually being really uncomfortable, which is normally me.
The official review was from Wiltshire, asking for a late hit call on the Wiltshire jammer.
Oh, okay. So I saw Sirius Block at the end of the jam making the illegal contact hand signal.
And we did wonder.
So it wasn't that Sirius Block had been given an illegal contact. They thought the jammer should have had an illegal contact, but the officials obviously disagreed because our penalty box is empty. So that is Airy Fairy jamming for Rebellion, and I thought was going to pick up lead, but it's been shown the outside line. Has picked up lead.
Has picked up lead.
But was recycled and had to reset and do that again. Lovely slide around the outside line. So that is now the initial pass fully completed, out of the engagement zone, and now coming round to score.
And look, Swift no longer has the star on their helmet. But are we going to...
Oh, that's my favourite, the sneaky star
when
pass.
you don't actually do it.
You don't actually let go. Look, you've got to decide which one of us you're going to block, and when you've decided, we'll decide who's actually going to have the star. So Airy Fairy now on a scoring pass. Swift is back round on a scoring pass as well, I believe.
This Wiltshire wall is very strong. Just like holding Airy Fairy, not being able to get much ground at all as they're trying to move across the track. What is that?
Airy Fairy's picked up a 4 rounds penalty. So we will have a 2-minute jam. Oh, I think that Swift's picked up a cut track penalty. So we're going to have ourselves a jammer switcheroo. So that's something else you can tick off your bingo cards early doors today.
It's my favourite thing ever.
If we've got any friends and family watching who don't understand what a jammer switcheroo is, we have to have one jammer on the track, otherwise roller derby's really boring to watch.
Yeah.
So Airy Fairy will have sat down in the penalty box, and then as soon as Swift sat down in the penalty box, Airy Fairy was released. Swift will then only serve the same amount of time as what Airy Fairy served in the penalty box. So we've now got 2 jammers again on track, and roller derby can resume.
And look at that, perfect timing of your explanation. Ooh, I don't think that was clear though. I think that might be
that was a cut track penalty.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I think there was a foot over the inside line there, wasn't it? So
absolutely, which is... Swift is now on 5 penalties so far this game. So that'll be interesting. You know, are they going to allow Swift to get one more penalty before? Are they going to stay on that jammer rotation? How are they going to combat? Because you don't want your jammers to foul out.
No, well, we don't want anybody to foul out of the game. But we definitely don't want jammers to foul out. So
quite interestingly, so far this half, the leads have been 50-50. So jams 1, 2, 3, they have been Wiltshire's. 4, 5, 6, Rebellion.
Very interesting. So again, we've got Pip. I think this is the 3rd time at least that Pip's been the jammer on a power jam. And
and look at that power. How far? Pushing them just over halfway around the track before they get out. Very nice resistance, but beautiful work from Pip.
Yeah, beautiful jamming from Pip. Picks up lead and now back in on a scoring pass. So, and yeah, a little bit of offence there. Boris recycling question mark all the way to the back of the pack now. Gives Rebellion an opportunity to hold a goat. Swift back on track, completely unnoticed though by Rebellion and nearly found space on the inside line. But unfortunately was shut down. So still working now on the initial. Star has come off and is in hand. Rebellion sending Sirius Block there just to maintain the pack.
And this is some really nice track coverage from both of these teams. They're spreading out and they're getting ready, and it's beautiful.
So we've had a star pass now from Wiltshire to question mark. Here's the jammer, but again is being recycled to the back by Boris. And that was a cut track penalty. I thought it might be. You once you resume trying to play roller derby, you can be behind the blockers, but really you need to be behind them when you come back on the track. You can't recycle yourself on the track, and that apex is a really tricky place to recycle because it feels like you are physically behind them, but because
because of the angle on the diagonal, it changes perspective.
Yeah, the imaginary lines run kind of perpendicular to the track, so it can be very discombobulating.
This does mean that Question Mark is sat in the jammer position in the penalty box, so Airy Fairy is going to get to start unopposed. Rebellion is sat on 124 points to Wiltshire's 116, but Wiltshire have been known very good at holding back and really taking control of this power jam and not getting through.
So, yeah, Rebellion holding a goat there at the back, which enables them to have control of the pack, and Airy Fairy is now out. So we had a little bit of offence from Boris just to get that Wiltshire wall moving and separate them up a bit, and then Boris was able to drop all the way back without worrying about destroying the pack because Rebellion had a goat, so they had the pack at the back there. Question Mark now back on the track, finding space on the outside line, shrugs off a hit from Boris and finds their way through on the inside line. Question Mark is a good jammer.
Yeah, it was very nice. Not the usual jamming, but very nicely done to get those points.
Yep, so shuts that jam down now. Rebellion picks up, just waiting for the scoreboard to be updated because I think it was 4 and some change. Did Airy Fairy do a second scoring pass? Or maybe it was just the 4. So 128 plays 16, so almost close to the biggest differential we've seen in this game at an entire 12 points, which feels like a big differential for this game. And that is Pandemonium and Badger, your jammers in this jam. So again, Wiltshire starting out with 4 blockers on defence. Pandemonium with that side to side, and then they're trying to push and squeeze through, get the blockers to dig in where they are, and then change direction. See if you can trigger them out a little bit, but it's not working so far. They are very, very good, as we've said already in this game, at not being too twitchy, not allowing themselves to overcommit all the way to one side of the track.
Absolutely, and both of these jammers, they're very fast, they can move, they will do the juking and try and split them apart. So as soon as they do get given that space, they go, and Badger's just proved that by, again, taking lead.
String the pack out at the front, leave yourself with 1 to beat, and then that's a nippy jammer's dream, only having 1 blocker to get round.
Exactly.
Picks up the first 4-point scoring pass. We have got another penalty being assessed to Wreck-'em Ralph. That was a multiplayer block.
We do have the star off of their head, but it doesn't look like they're going to try and make the pass.
I think Steph Sentence was just preoccupied a little bit there, and there we go. And really nice again, Pandemonium still sort of pretending to jam.
Yeah, continue engaging. If they think you're still the jammer, let them.
And there's the realisation from Wiltshire that actually Steph Sentence is the jammer now. Great awareness from Steph Sentence there to come back on in front of the down skater.
Very nice. Currently we are on 128 to 128. Ooh, big hit! Back up and through. Badger doesn't care. It's going to glance off. So that will be a lead change in Wiltshire's favour.
So again, a little bit of offence just gets the pack moving. And Steph Sentence was nearly out there, but that big tumble to the outside line gives Wiltshire a chance to come back, reset at the back, reform their 3-wall, and there's a lot of big thuds.
We are getting a lot of big hits on this track.
I'm starting to wonder if we've got the floor mic'd up, because I can hear those thuds really beautifully as people absolutely hit the deck.
One thing we are seeing from Rebellion is they keep stretching out the wall of black.
Yeah.
You know, they're pushing them out and out and out until they cannot have them any longer and they have to be let go. And that, I quite enjoy it. It's showing a lot of strength from these Rebellion jammers.
Was that Wiltshire's biggest jam of the game, Alex? I think at 17 points. I think that's...
because I think they only got 16 on the first half. So
yeah. So we've got Diamond Dodge out jamming for Wiltshire. They seem to be kindly giving Dodge a bit of a rest today. Maybe Dodge could be doing more jams, I don't know. But Dodge has got another game to play later as well. So and Dodge's lead. Beautifully done. So we've got Kiki off to take a seat in the penalty box. Oh, was that was lovely.
That didn't land, did it?
It was. There was a no pass somewhere, but it did land.
So no pass, no penalty. So very nice. Sometimes you just got to go and try it for those apex jumps.
Yeah. And this again could be. So there was only 3 points on that scoring pass because of the no-earned pass, but Thundercats, they're still stuck on that wall at the back, desperately trying to push through. Kiki in the box on a cut track penalty.
Absolutely.
So no offensive help there for Thundercats at the moment, as Rebellion need all of their 3 blockers on track to do their best to try and stop Diamond Dodge.
The star does look very well stashed in their hand, but it's just there's no opportunity to make any kind of star pass here when you've got that jammer right in your wall.
Again, Boris just preoccupied there with the blocking the jammer. Defense always comes first. And great little bit of offense from 702 just to open that wall up, but Dodge being shown the outside line.
And a really big recycle.
And I wonder if we'll see the star pass here now as that wall is set up. Offensive help there from Boris. Boris's offense has been great in this game, but resetting now as a defensive blocker. Thundercats, please come, please take the hat. I don't want it.
Very nice.
Wiltshire's awareness though of where the pivot is and the way that they spread that wall out a little bit. Oh, and another apex jump from Dodge to just pick up those 4 points right at the end of that jam. So 11 points up for Wiltshire, taking their score total to 144. So another 12-point differential, but this time in the opposite direction.
There's not been very many scoreless jams this half, but that was a scoreless jam for Rebellion. We have an official timeout for the time being. So Wiltshire on 144, Rebellion on 132.
So yeah, just taking a little bit of an opportunity to have a chat now. We get a nice little shot of our house announcers there for this game. Give them a little wave. Having a lovely time. That was Mr. Hazard, who'll be playing for Crash Test Bunnies later as well.
So far we have seen that Wiltshire have stuck to what we asked from them of doing less penalties. So far this half, Rebellion have upped it a little bit and have gone just over double. So they are now on 13 penalties this game to 24 to Wiltshire.
5 or 6 in each half. In this half, for each team. So Wiltshire now on 24 points total. I believe they were at 18 at the end of the half.
19 because one got added.
5 points for them and 5 penalties for them, in this half.
Absolutely. Rebellion have had 3 scoreless jams so far this half. We've got 11 and a half minutes left of the game. We're on jam 10. That's actually quite a lot of the game where they've had no points, and that's quite a strong showing from those Wiltshire blockers that they've completely shut it down by that degree.
Yeah, the Wiltshire blockers, in terms of how well they've waterfalled, how well they've stayed together and come back together, have really, really impressed me in this game. I am really glad that I am not a jammer and will never have to jam against them. So we've got Pip and the Renegade up on the jam line for this half.
We mentioned earlier Swift, one of Wiltshire's jammers, was on 5 penalties, and we haven't seen her come out and jam since, so they might be trying to play it safe. Lovely gaining lead by the Renegade.
Yeah, but Pip absolutely hot on the heels, only about 10 foot behind. So we've got ourselves a little jammer foot race round here.
Do. Very smartly called off. The pack moving so fast to try and not get any points. And just, no, not going to engage in that.
Yeah, so there was just one Rebellion blocker at the back, but I don't think that Wiltshire were willing to take the risk to try and pick up that 1 point that maybe they could have had, but oh goodness, it's just not worth the risk in this game. They've got that lead. They really, at this point, Wiltshire are going to be thinking about playing it safe, burning the clock down as much as possible, extend the lead where they can, but just not give it Rebellion any chance to get any points on the board at all.
Absolutely. Wiltshire does have one blocker. Their pivot is in the penalty bin, but currently that makes no difference to Badger, still picking up lead.
Opting for the inside line this time, picking up lead. Airy Fairy shrugs off a hit on the outside line, just has 2 blockers to beat up at the front there, now 1, and completes the initial pass on the outside line. Rebellion doing a little bit of waterfalling of their own, just trying to hold Badger, trying to get a scoring opportunity.
Absolutely. Badger's looking at that penalty box. We've got all of our skaters back on track.
again, maybe they're seeing this Jammer matchup and thinking that this is an opportunity to try and outscore Rebellion. I'm not sure this is the choice I would have made, but
no, I don't
let's
think
see
so.
how it plays out. So I feel like I've said this a lot of times in this game, but that's another big hit out to the outside and recycle from Boris. And that was Kiki, the captain for Rebellion in this game, with the hit to the inside line.
Absolutely nice coverage. We have just had a penalty to Wiltshire for a back block.
Okay, so this game ends. I think there is also, I think that's Terrier taking a seat in the penalty box for Rebellion. So we've got one blocker apiece sat down in the box. 4 points for each team scored in that jam. So 136 plays 148.
We have a timeout.
That is an official timeout. So we're just waiting. We've just got a skater who is just needs a minute to make sure they're okay before they get up. Our wonderful medics are going to come and have a quick check over and make sure that they're okay. They are sitting up and talking, so just going to have a little breather. 9 minutes left on the clock of this game.
Yeah, we're doing great. There's 12 points of a difference so far in here. Currently, the majority of the penalties this game has seen has been cut tracks. But we are also seeing this floor is clearly lumpy, bumpy, and very slippery because we're having a lot of jammers just fall down.
I just did some maths because I'm a nerd, and my flat track stats prediction was that the score differential would be 32 to 35 for this game, and if you divide 136 by 32 you get 4.2, and if you divide 148 by 35 you get 4.2278 something. So well done, flat track stats. Give yourselves a round of applause because you were almost exactly bob on with this.
Do you know what? That's so unfair of you. You've just taken Alex's job away from him. He's so good at his job.
I just wanted to check the predictions. I'm not doing any producer-related maths to do with the game that's happening. I just wanted to do myself a little double check because I am a massive maths nerd and a stats nerd and a roller derby nerd. Absolutely. And I love it when those things intersect.
It is great to have some statistics. So let's throw it out there. So far this season, Wiltshire has had 3 jammers in the top 10 jammers for Tier 2 South. That would be Le Renegade, Diamond Dodge, and Linsane. We haven't really seen Linsane do jamming so far this game, so maybe that's going to be something we're going to see further into the weekend.
Interestingly, question mark was 11th on that top 10 as well, whether that was just star passes or whether that was as a jammer. So it's really nice to have those like pivots that can do double duty. So pivots who can jam as well, give yourselves a nice deep jammer rotation. Particularly also having jammers who can block when they've done a star pass is really useful.
So not me.
Having all of those people who can do both those things and who can fill in the gaps where you need to. So if you have a couple of jammers who aren't available for a game, it's fine because your pivots can take up and step that role.
Absolutely, and I think pivots are really undervalued as to how good they actually are because so much attention gets put on the jammers when you're watching a game that you forget that the pivots are doing both of those roles.
Yeah, and we do often have obviously a situation where it's not all just pivot takes a star pass, does half a lap and the jam gets called. Quite often the other team will elect to run the jam long, or maybe the other jammer gets a penalty and all of a sudden you have to jam for the rest of that jam. Yeah,
you've got to apply that pressure. You've got to try and get it to cool off, or you've got to try and get some points for your team. Yeah. So you can't just go, okay, I'll take the star and la-di-da-di-da. You've got to work for it sometimes. And so, I think some pivots are undervalued. And question mark is definitely that person that's showing how valuable they can be. I can't say just that because,
it didn't look like Rebellion had any jammers in the top 10 despite winning all their games, but some of the stats on the Five Nations website may or may not have been updated. And that one with the... they were in Tier 2 North. I wasn't 100% sure. Some of them, it was really obvious that it looked like they'd only been... Jammer's done 4 games and they've played in 10 jams. Yeah, that's probably not correct. So Pip up against Diamond Dodge. This was our jammer matchup from Jam, the very, very first jam of the game. Two really, really excellent jammers.
It was. The jammers are enjoying this outside line, but the blockers are consistently just pushing them off on the outside line. They need to avoid it.
Pip has just got lead on the outside line, shoved not only the Wiltshire blockers, but Diamond Dodge and her own team out of the way. Like, thank you, I'm coming through, this is my line. So, but Dodge is maybe a quarter of a lap behind, so we are going to try and empty this penalty box, I think. Diamond Dodge being recycled a little bit, but some lovely offence there from B. Unfortunately, not quite enough to get Diamond Dodge out and through the pack.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, Pip picking up a second 4-point scoring pass for Rebellion.
Yeah, absolutely. B just delivered quite a nice, substantial hit on Pip that just glanced off. Pip didn't care, just straight on and round.
Some lovely one-on-one blocking at the front there from Steph Sentence, just holding up Diamond Dodge enough for Pip to get to the back. And I could hear shouts of Pip call it, but that hasn't happened yet. In the meantime, Dodge coming in for a scoring pass. Doyle showing them the outside line. Pip now coming round for a fourth scoring pass. Pip's having too much fun. Pip doesn't want to call the jam. Pip's having a lovely time. Although that's 249 Serenity being anything but serene in shoving Pip the inside line. So Pip does manage to call it off. So that has brought our score differential much, much closer together. Blimey, that is 15 points in that jam for Rebellion, 5 points for Wiltshire. So we've got just a 2-point game again now with 7 minutes left on the clock. So I think we might be getting ourselves a team timeout from Rebellion. Hopefully trying to capitalise on that lead now, maybe giving Pip a little extra rest and putting Pip out to jam again. We shall see. Maybe just having a breather. We've got one blocker from Wiltshire sat on the box. I'm being joined by our wonderful Dork mistress for a minute. Sonic's had to pop off for a sec. This is a great game, Dork. We are having a very lovely time.
Oh, I'm coming right into this.
You're coming right into this at peak spicy right now. So we had Rebellion with a kind of a 12-14 point lead for a couple of jams. Wiltshire pulled it back and got themselves a 12-14 point lead. Rebellion have just had Pip out to jam with a 15-point jam, and we are now back at a 2-point game. So
on paper, this was always going to be the closest game of this sort of morning.
Yeah. Because
these are two really strong teams that have developed over the last few years. But this spicy did not expect.
Yes, and interestingly, on paper, Wiltshire on flat track stats were predicted to win despite being ranked 2 places lower and actually being the second place team in their Tier 2 division. So, but yeah, this was always going to be spicy. Two teams with very different styles of play.
And just 7 minutes left to go. So this really is either team's game. Just a few minutes to resolve this.
Yeah, so we've got Badger jamming for Wiltshire, and that is at least the third time in this game that Badger has just sprinted straight down the outside line. Airy Fairy now just has 2 blockers to beat up at the front. One finds space on the toe stops on the outside line. Meanwhile, Badger is back in and picking up that scoring pass.
Just bouncing off the blockers on the inside, spinning around. They left too much space there to block Badger from getting through.
Yeah, and I think Wiltshire are going to want to run this jam long. They've only got 2 blockers on the track now, so Airy Fairy on that first scoring pass now for Rebellion picks up an easy 4 points with just 2 blockers to beat.
Airy Fairy able to push the 2 blockers out one by one. Yeah. Badger also making no difficulty of the 4 Rebellion on the track.
No, those 4 Rebellion blockers were 4 Rebellion blockers, though. They weren't a wall. They were 4 individual blockers, and Badger just danced straight between them. So showing the outside line there by Sirius Block, who I believe played for Team GB at the Junior Roller Derby World Cup this year.
And look at that. Look at the points score. Just waiting to see if there's any additional Jammer ref points being added, but that's 8 each.
8 each, so we maintain ourselves at a 2-point game.
But we've lost a minute of clock time, so for both teams, they'll be getting a bit nervous about that neither took the win in that jam.
Yeah, this is real squeaky time now. So we have got Pip up to jam for Rebellion and Lorenegade for Wiltshire. We have a slight pack advantage to Wiltshire with Kiki sitting in the box on a forearms penalty. Pip absolutely, as Pip does, just muscling through this wall, finds that space on the outside line and picks up lead jammer for Rebellion. Lorenegade still trying to find that space. The stars come off though, so they have picked up on what we said in the first half, that we'd like those star passes to happen a little bit quicker. Oh, big hit there. Pip trying to go straight through Reckless and finding that not an option. Little try and last ditch attempt at a butt hit out there by Bookworm's Revenge, but unsuccessful. So Pip picking up 4 points, but Lorenegade now also picking up a 4-point scoring pass. Wiltshire with a blocker in the penalty box. Pip picks up that 4, and these teams now, Rebellion, are just trying that, run this jam long, try and hold these jammers, try and wear them out. So far in this jam, this is paying off for Rebellion. We've had a star pass. So don't think that'll be a full 4 points because the star wasn't on the helmet.
But it's interesting, we're seeing quite a lot of big hits, but it's not destroying the walls. You're seeing them come flying in, you're going, oh, that was a big hit, but they're just accepting it, and it's not.
Yeah, Pip came flying into Reckless a minute ago and came off actually worst out of that exchange.
Absolutely.
So Wiltshire now have their pivot jamming. And that is a forearms penalty being assessed to Pip with only 20 seconds left in this jam. So this will be a power jam start for Wiltshire. So Linzane, and as you said, Linzane as the pivot, having taken the star pass.
I believe that's Pip's first penalty this game. Oh, what a good coverage of the outside line.
And you see the Wiltshire blocker come in to try and take Steph Sentence off the track. And Ralph just
the T-shirt grabbed
hold of Steph Sentence's T-shirt and went, no, you are staying on track with me.
And what a close jam.
Oh my goodness.
Rebellion 170, Wiltshire 171.
And this time it is Rebellion's turn to start this jam with only 2 blockers on the track. That is Wreckham Ralph, and is that Boris? I think that's Boris.
Badger is also currently jamming unopposed. Pip is standing in the penalty box. We have seen so far in this game that whenever we've had a power jam start, Wiltshire they've come out best from it. No matter which jammer is getting that advantage, Wiltshire has had the best chance.
Yeah, they've had quite a good few power jam shutdowns. And this is a big advantage for Wiltshire.
Absolutely. A couple extra points have been added, so Rebellion is on 173 to Wiltshire's 171.
Oh, so it's a 2-point game now.
It's a 2-point game.
It's not a 1-point game anymore. That makes all the difference. Double the differential. Suddenly I'm not nervous about what's going to happen. I'm not nervous because it doesn't affect my life in any way, shape or form. I'm just very excited to see what happens for the next 3¼ minutes.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what Wiltshire are going to do to these 2 red blockers. Are they going to split them apart and split the seed like they did earlier? Are they going to squish them together?
It looks like they're going for trapping them together. And yeah, short work of that from Badger.
Absolutely.
Very little that those blockers could do with that. But Wiltshire have now had to wall up and wait for Pip to re-enter the track. Absolutely straight through the middle of that pack.
Yes, Pip. Absolutely destroying that Wiltshire wall, coming round, chasing Badger on the top apex. We're going to look, it looks as though Badger is going to try and get 1, maybe 2 points.
I think that will be 2 because that will be the point for the blocker at the back, which I think was Boris, and then they'll get the not on the track point for Steph Sentence as well. So 6 points in that jam for Wiltshire takes their total to 177. So now we're at a 4-point game.
And that was really smartly done because it was very clear communication. They had a plan. You knew what they were doing. They were like, no, we're just going to grab a couple and we're going to stop it. And, you know, jam 16, 2 minutes left. We're going to have, I predict,
a bunch of...
we're going to have a bunch of small jams now.
big hit. That was Doyle with the massive takedown on the inside line on Dodge. We've got Airy Fairy looking for space through the middle. Dodge does pick up lead jam of 4, Wiltshire.
I really want Doyle to do it again.
And that was serious block this time with the takedown to the outside line. The out of play call comes, but the 3-wall is waiting for Dodge and shuts down that apex jump. Airy Fairy, meanwhile, battling a solid 3-wall at the front, which is also being backed up by that 4th defensive blocker. Both teams going all out now on defense. This is down to the wire in this game.
It is. A Wiltshire blocker has been given a multiplayer, which is going to help Airy Fairy to be able to push and get out, maybe. We've got our no pack call.
So somebody is going to get a failure to reform, because nobody in that Wiltshire wall batted an eyelid at the no pack call.
Question mark has gone and taken that.
And that is Airy Fairy through on the initial pass. Helps out with a bit of offense there from Boris. So let's see what Rebellion can do now to shut this down. Is Dodge going to call the jam?
I mean, they've got 2 blockers in the bin. No, that's it. Nicely done.
But Diamond Dodge finding the space to get through, but Airy Fairy followed Dodge through the pack. Wiltshire now in a little bit of blocker trouble, because they've got question mark on that failure to reform penalty, and B on a multiplayer, and Ginge on an undisclosed penalty.
Yeah. So I think question mark, it looked like question mark did just get released from the penalty box, but as you said, Ginge is now sat there for some unknown penalty at this moment in time. Doesn't appear as though Rebellion had any penalties towards the end of that, so that's going to be very interesting. It's a 1-point jam again.
We have got a skater just taking a minute to get up, being looked at by the medics and being looked after by their teammates.
So we are looking at Rebellion for 180, Wiltshire 181.
And we've got 30 seconds left on the period clock. So in all likelihood, we will have one more jam in this game. And it's funny, isn't it? Because we've just played an hour of roller derby, and it really is just going to come down to who wins the last jam.
Literally, yeah. Next goal wins. I hated those games as a kid. But that is what we're about to see.
That is effectively, who's going to win this jam. It's not an overtime jam, so overtime jam rules don't apply. I've never called an overtime jam, and I don't... Oh, God. Now I've said it.
Yeah, don't give us a unicorn. So I think we should
Apart
predict...
from anything else, it's going to be lunchtime before this game finishes, because the next game on this track is supposed to be starting in 3 minutes. So if you have tuned into the stream to watch the Cambridge-Bristol game, make yourself a cup of tea, or in fact don't go anywhere. Watch the end of this game, because this is going to be...
Intense.
I
was about to say, let's predict who are we going to have. So we're going to have Pip on the jam line. We can already see her there. It's
got to be Diamond Dodge or Badger? Badger, yeah.
Yes. Which, and to be fair, I have really enjoyed all the ones where Badger and Pip have gone up against each other. They don't skate the same, but it's similar enough that you're seeing. Like Pandemonium and Badger, they skate the same.
Yeah. They're just both very, very, very good, and they're having a lovely little hug, a little hello on the jam line. Everyone's having a little chat together. I wonder if they're like, maybe we just don't come back tomorrow. This has been a lot.
It has been a lot. We've seen countless big hits, countless hits to the floor, falling over. You know, I'd be interested to see if track 1 has had quite as many falls as track 2 has.
We have got, if anyone's interested, the second game on track 1 has started at 7 Roller Torrent, and they're playing Manchester Roller Derby, and at the moment the score is 16 to Manchester and 6-7 Roller Torrent, but they have only just started that game, so anything could happen.
Absolutely.
I wonder if we've got orange versus green over there, because that makes me feel a little bit... Maybe not. So we are just getting all our ducks in a row. I think probably making sure...
I heard a whistle.
That might be from the other...
No, that was our whistle.
That
should be a next whistle starts the jam business.
Okay, so Badger and Pip, this will probably be the last jam of the game. We've got 1 blocker for Wiltshire in the penalty box, all 4 blockers for Rebellion on the track, and that is it. We are underway. Pip is looking for space, finds the space to run down the outside line, picks up lead for Rebellion, has to get at least one jam, and ideally has to run the period clock to 0, because otherwise Wiltshire could trigger an extra jam. So
Absolutely.
that's the point, to give Rebellion the lead change and take the lead in this jam.
Oh, nice, quick, short.
But now there's going to be
a timeout. Timeout to Wiltshire. So 3 points scored to Rebellion in that jam. 0 to Wiltshire. So we're on 183 to 181.
You have to ask yourself I can't see the track from here, so I don't know whose decision that was to call that jam off. But personally, I'd have waited another 5 seconds.
You would have run it a little bit longer.
Especially given that Badger wasn't out on the initial.
And do you know what? I really enjoyed watching Badger at the start, because Badger was there, was wanting Pip to get stuck in a wall, was waiting for them to get stuck in the wall so that they could do something. And then no, Pip actually managed it up on the outside line, and Badger tried to follow and couldn't. And because it was so quick and the timeout, we're going to have the same lineup.
Both teams have put the same jammer out as in the previous jam, which frankly is exactly what I would have done in this.
I was literally going here like, who am I going to predict now if it's not Pip and Badger?
So we had the rolling whistle for the end of the timeout, and the jammers just went, oh no, let's go. That wasn't the start of the jam. Everyone's very excited. This is a 2-point game. We will eventually get Cambridge versus Bristol. So big recycle back on Badger. Badger there with that 3-wall. Pip finding space on the outside line.
What is that distance?
Does now pick up lead. So the period clock's at 0. So Pip literally could call the jam now.
But do you want to get some glory points?
I do, but I also don't want to get a penalty.
We have had a star pass.
Star pass to question mark. Just don't get a penalty.
Yeah, Pip definitely
Pip got a back block penalty.
Oh, this is intense. The crowd is going absolutely
jam is
insane.
Run for the whole 2 minutes now, because no lead jammer, because Pip had it.
And we know that question mark is a very capable and durable jammer, because they were 11th in the entire tier.
So interesting choice for Rebellion there to start already 9 foot away from the pack, from the Wiltshire wall.
Yeah.
So question mark taking no chances, recycling all the way to the back of the pack. We are going to have to drop a bridge, and we do.
We can see Wiltshire are getting ready.
Wiltshire are now setting up.
Pip is standing and looking. There is a pivot, red pivot cover on the floor, I believe.
That's fine. We don't need that.
We don't.
No, nobody needs that.
Just hopefully no one trips.
So Pip now looking to pick up a scoring pass.
Reckless really tried to get them off, but wasn't quite able to cover it.
Oh no, that's another penalty for Pip. That was a forearms penalty.
Pip went so far into this game with no penalties. Got 1 penalty on jam 15 and then 2 on jam 19. The time is so close.
That's it. So Pip's going to finish the jam in the penalty box.
Absolutely. Question mark is going to hopefully finish it on track. This is Wiltshire's game.
So that's it. Your unofficial score at the moment. And we will wait for that to become official. We'll wait for our jam refs to go and check the points. I mean, that is, I'm not going to lie, that is a heartbreaking way for Rebellion to have lost that game. That is such a shame.
It is. I really hope that at home you can hear the cheering of the crowd, because it's really fun and wonderful to hear how much support that these two teams do have here.
So Wiltshire seem to be quite happy, you can see on your screens, and are celebrating. That will be absolutely devastating for Rebellion, but they have played an incredible game. They have given us the best entertainment. I predicted in advance that this was going to be the game, certainly the game of today, possibly the game of the weekend, and I'm really pleased to say that I have not been disappointed in the slightest. This game has given me everything I hoped it would.
Absolutely. We've had so many lead changes, so much drama, and you know, no one wants to end the game the way this has just ended, and that is very unfortunate, but both teams played outstandingly and should be so proud of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely incredible game from both teams. Actually, the penalties finished really even with 21 for Rebellion and 22 for Wiltshire. So, yeah, fantastic game. That is our official final score now. Rebellion Roller Derby 186 points and Wiltshire Roller Derby 189 points. The next game on this track is going to be Bristol versus Cambridge, which is our, as I said earlier, is our other Tier 2 semi-final. So the winner of that game will play Wiltshire in the gold medal game on this track tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. And the second place team in that game will play Rebellion at, I believe, 1 o'clock on track 1. But the schedule is on the Five Nations social media pages.
Hit us up, share all your thoughts and excitement. Thank you so much for joining us here today on track 2. I've been Sonic.
I've been Over the Painbow, and we were ably produced by Alexa's on Fire.
You've been awesome. We'll see you soon.